When police raided this pleasant suburban home, looking for a man allegedly part of a notorious global ransomware gang, the cops found him sitting at a table in the garage with an open laptop in front of him. They restrained him quickly before he could lock his computer. Securing direct access to that private computer revealed information about the alleged hacker and perhaps others, and fed FBI agents information used to file charges against him in U.S. federal court and request his extradition from Canada. The mob reporter here with dramatic news of an attack targeting the world's most prolific and notorious ransomware gang, one operating on a global stage, from New Jersey and Toronto to Paris and Berlin, from Jakarta and Kyiv to New Delhi and Beijing. Let me tell you about it. It's called LockBit, and the name applies to both malevolent software and a rapacious group who weaponized it. I'm sure you've seen headlines about ransomware attacks in recent years. The hackers who pull off these extortions are the digital equivalent of kidnappers from the past. They don't grab relatives of the rich and demand money for their return. Unlike simple hackers who just steal data, ransomware is uniquely painful. They encrypt and lock a victim's data so no one can access it without a code to decrypt it. The attackers leave behind a ransom note on the computers where the working files used to be. Last year, in Ukraine, 2 alleged associates of LockBit were raided. You see the operation here. It was the result of an investigation by French and Ukrainian police and led to the arrest of 2 men. In that September 2021 raid, police also seized $375,000 in cash, 2 luxury vehicles, and froze assets of $1.3 million in cryptocurrencies. Europol, the European police agency, said they were part of an organized group that were high-value targets, and at the time, they said they continued to search for the main operator. Europol connected those arrests in Ukraine to the one in Canada that came a year later. These scenes from the European investigation may give us some idea of how their most recent activity might have played out. The most recent raid was on October 26, 2022, and targeted this detached house in Canada, in the residential community of Bradford, West Gwillimbury, an hour's drive due north from Toronto. The raid by the Ontario Provincial Police seems to have caught the target by surprise. 33-year-old dual Russian and Canadian citizen Mikhail Vasilyev. He was in the garage, sitting at a table with an open laptop in front of him when officers crashed in. Vasilyev didn't have a chance to close his laptop before he was restrained, police said. The laptop revealed a browser window with an open tab titled LockBit Login, pointing to a domain on the dark web, according to allegations in a criminal complaint sworn by an FBI agent and filed in court in New Jersey. The FBI believes this was a LockBit control panel, through which ransomware attackers carry out their extortion. Also on the computer, authorities allege, was a seed phrase for accessing a Bitcoin wallet. The wallet showed a payment on February 5. The FBI alleges those funds were a portion of a ransom payment made 6 hours earlier by a confirmed LockBit victim. Investigators with France's Gendarmerie, the FBI, and the European Cybercrime Centre were deployed to Ontario to work with Canadian police, according to Europol, the European police agency. Europol said Canadian police seized 2 guns, 8 computers, and 32 external hard drives in the search of the home, along with €400,000 in cryptocurrencies. This was not the first police visit to Vasilyev's home. The OPP first raided it in August, but kept it hush-hush while the international investigation took shape. During the August raid, officers found a file titled Target List, which appears to be a list of prospective or past cybercrime victims. It included a New Jersey business that was hit by BitLock last November, including instructions for deploying a LockBit attack and photos of usernames and passwords for employees of a LockBit victim in Canada that was hit in January, according to an FBI affidavit filed in court. After the October raid, the OPP didn't charge Vasilyev for anything to do with LockBit, hacking, or even computers. He was only charged over 2 guns and ammunition police say were found in the house, including possession of a prohibited or restricted gun. The day after his arrest, he made a quick and quiet court appearance in a small courthouse even further north and was released on bail. His release conditions included GPS monitoring and staying 6 miles away from Toronto's International Airport and 12 miles away from any border crossing. Prosecutors were clearly concerned he might try to leave the country while they waited for the Americans to get their paperwork in order. On November 2nd, the U.S. officials filed a criminal complaint and arrest warrant for Vasiliev in a New Jersey court under seal. That made it secret from the public. The request for his arrest was then forwarded to Canadian authorities, who then arrested Vasiliev a second time on November 10th, this time on behalf of the United States with an eye for his extradition. He made an unscheduled court appearance that day, and this time he was held in custody pending a further hearing. The U.S. charges against him are conspiring to damage protected computers and to transmit ransom demands. None of the allegations have been proven in court. I asked Vasiliev's lawyer if he or his client wished to comment on the allegations, and he declined at this time. The U.S. Department of Justice said the arrest comes after more than 2.5 years of investigating LockBit. LockBit is sometimes portrayed online as a bit of a Robin Hood-style organization, by mostly targeting the banking, insurance, financial, and professional services sectors, rather than hospitals, schools, and charities. Their targets are usually large organizations that have two things: a lot of important data, and the resources to pay handsomely to get it back. LockBit attracted added attention when analysts found it had a special subroutine. Before launching an attack, it determined where the target servers were, and if they were in Russia or one of the former Soviet Union states, it would abort the attack. What sets LockBit apart for authorities as a gang as opposed to individual hackers or a collective is their organized structure. They use a ransomware as a service model. They have a hierarchy of developers and affiliates. They recruit and interact. They share and cooperate. They run a bug bounty program for finding any flaws in their program. Like a forward-thinking tech company, they're always looking to improve, and that's bad news for their victims. Here's one last weird thing, though. A few hours after Europol posted its announcement about the arrest in Canada online, it disappeared. Poof. Replaced with this 404 error notice, without any explanation. I've asked Europol 3 times now to explain, without any response, which is odd because they're usually good about responding to my questions. The weirdness continues, because when I spoke with someone from the agency in Canada that arrested Vasiliev, they said they didn't work with Europol. And while the U.S. Department of Justice thanked 10 agencies for their collaboration on the file, not one is a European agency. In any event, no matter who did what where, Vasiliev remains in Canada, facing extradition to the United States, whatever interest there might be for him in Europe. Please tap the thanks button under this video to help me out, or join me on Patreon for perks and bonus content. That's at patreon.com/themobreporter. Please like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Thanks for watching.